You need to try harder. Only you can resist me. Ju-won was blown away and fell into a difficult situation. If used at full strength, then I can win easily. But if you use all your strength, then it is possible that it will turn back to the way it was before. Without controlling the power, can be depleted at any time. Right now, Ju-won suddenly felt a great source of energy. Rising, the Sandman saw that his opponent did not make any movement. So more confident. Don't underestimate me anymore. Use all your strength. As long as I can kill you, the heroes will stop all actions. I will pierce you. He put all his strength into the tip of the spear, and madly rushed forward, like an attack. But Jung-won stopped him with one hand. His whole body radiated a huge amount of power. Makes cutting out choking. Superpowers are like a glass of water. The more you use it, the closer the water level gets to the bottom. But Justin's abilities are more than just a cup. Instead, it is a vast ocean. Ju-won possesses such enormous power. But he didn't know and suppressed it. Now all we need to do is spread the word. With just one punch, the sand was knocked far away. Luckily, he had a protective helmet or his face would have been crushed. At another party, Hash was silently waiting in the room. Then the assistant came to ask, "Why do you feel so restless and worried?" Hae now clearly looked uneasy, because Jusk has not yet signaled whether he has arrived or not. The assistant is not too worried. His beard is slower than usual. Perhaps he encountered distant sand on the way. Haste could no longer sit still and wait. Immediately stood up and looked towards the window. If something like that happens, well, he's been fighting for too long. I have to go there and check. Returned to Ju-won's side. Uncle. After enlightenment, he was free to fight freely. Kasha was punched in the head. Pigs have no resistance at all. Now he felt fear. When fighting against a top server, what happened? It was like he had become a different person. Chief. The Jugon now radiated a huge aura of power. Before, he always tried to control himself when using all his power. Should lead to overload. But now you use it. This power is free, so things are different. Ju-won did not compete with Sand, but rushed over and punched him in the face. Although Kasha used her spear, she tried to block the punches. But his speed was so poor that he was still hit repeatedly. Damn, is he too strong. I cannot accept it. If an arena barrier can't stop him, then I will end this matter with 2 barriers. Kasha stomped his foot on the ground again. A barrier circle was created again. Ju-won's speed immediately decreased. Gun and Kasha were able to dodge the attack. Kasha saw that and smiled complacently. He decided, we'll end the battle with the next spear attack. But in the face of absolute power, then all tricks are meaningless. Ju-won didn't avoid it but used his fists. Smash the spear that's coming towards you. When Kasha witnessed this scene, she was extremely frightened. There's no way this couldn't happen. How come his strength and mine are so different? While he was in shock, then Ju-won's fist lightly touched his face. Sand that was hit immediately flew away. His head fell to the ground and he lost consciousness. Obstacles also disappear accordingly. Ju-won now dared to breathe a sigh of relief. This is still risky. If I use too much power, I might lose it. Looks like I need to practice more. If you want to completely master this power. At this moment, a building suddenly exploded in the distance. Attracted Ju-won's attention. Our heroes from the Akando group. Just like what I heard. They don't pay any attention to their surroundings. When fighting crime, Ju-won is calmly watching the battle. Then suddenly got hit by a stray bullet. A building. Taking a hit from the battle and about to collapse on his head. This Ju-won isn't overdoing it, is it? We have to get out of here quickly. At this time, he noticed the unconscious criminal. Then I started to hesitate. If I leave him behind, he will surely die. He has lost the ability to defend himself. What should I do? Why am I thinking about this? He tried to kill me. Whether I live or die is up to him, not my business. Even though I tried to tell myself so. but at the last moment. So Ji-won still picked up the criminal and ran. Just bent ass. Go run and you're just complaining that you're crazy. When you wake up, you must repent of your actions. And live a good life. Have you heard? But because I spent too much time thinking about it. So Ji-won couldn't leave the building in time. At the time, an entire tall building was falling down on him. And Ji-won, the only thing left to do is close your eyes and nose to support it. But strangely, I waited forever. Ji-won didn't feel anything touching him either. Uncle. When I opened my eyes, I saw a zombie standing in front of me. Use your ability to support the entire building. I said I would support you. In an instant, all the rubble has been pushed out, as expected of a professional hero. Not like someone. Ji-won now breathed a sigh of relief, because just now I thought I was dead. But Yumi is not very happy and is angry. You helped a criminal. Have you lost your mind? Ji-won just now stood up, explaining awkwardly. Well, a hero shouldn't let anyone die. Is that so? This is not a good thing to do. At this moment, the Sandman woke up from his coma. He immediately freed himself from Ji-won's hand and rushed towards the zombie. He threw a piece of metal into the zombie's neck and threatened. I can't be dragged around like an animal. In this situation, Yumi still calmly looked away. This is what you get in return for saving a criminal. Justice's location. Not something you can protect. With such irresponsible attitude. Whether we live or die, we cannot forgive Kasha. He is the leader of all criminals here. Let him run away. It will cause danger to your identity. Falling TC Casta doesn't understand what the hell is going on. Get right next to the piece of metal and scream loudly. What are you guys mumbling about? I'm really going to kill you. Ji-won can sense that the Casta is not lying. He will really take action. He calmly told him to stop, then slowly step back. Create a feeling of safety. When I put it away, I feel satisfied that my goal is about to be accomplished. You finally understand what's going on. But he had just relaxed his guard. Then Ji-won immediately used lightning speed. Hold your head against the wall. After all, this guy is just a criminal. Just no brain. After confirming that the criminal has been dealt with, Ji-won turned back to talk to Yumi. I cleaned up the mess I made. Zombie just let out a sigh. You really know how to talk. But it's too late now, send them a signal. Ji-won now remembered his mission. When you come here, he used the walkie-talkie to contact others. To inform just here on behalf of the hero. At the target location. Think about the 200 million you just earned. Ji-won happily laughed loudly. I'm a hero. Number 1. How hard is it to earn 200 million? Haha, zombie standing next to it. Seeing that, he looked at it with contemptuous eyes. She is currently thinking about other more important matters. Kasha is quite eccentric. But he has extremely good skills. Even with Justice's power. He can't win against me either. With skills. At the time it made sense. His skills have increased. In a short period of time. I just know he's a crazy guy when it comes to money. But I guess we can expect more from him. And Ji-won. Right now I'm just worried that the criminal he just beat won't happen. How about an appointment? Anyway, you are a good citizen. Never killed anyone. Meanwhile, Haste was quietly standing and observing everything. From the roof of a nearby building. Her pensive eyes were filled with doubt. At this moment, the radio transmitted a message to Haste. Tadashi just sent a signal to Haste. After listening, calmly answer. Yes, I have confirmed it myself. Although it took a while to find a good observation spot. Behind Haste is a long row of bloody corpses. Looks like you just arrested a bunch of criminals here. It's truly scary. After completing the mission, Ji-won and Chomi packed their butts and left here. On the go. Ji-won kept sighing dejectedly. Zombie saw that and asked, "What's wrong with that lifeless face?" Ji-won now whined. "They'll probably die of exhaustion. I mean, it's great to be able to maintain this transformation by not holding it back anymore. But it's so tiring. I guess I have to find another way to control it. After listening, Yumi encouraged Ju-won. Anyway, he also used the power of Justishima. I think it's very interesting. Ju-won immediately turned red. Embarrassed face after hearing these words. What's going on? Why is she suddenly so beautiful? Zombie then asked Ju-won. Have you tried it after the first time? Ju-won didn't hide it at all. But sharing my second experience. That's if I touch a dead person's body. Possesses ability. Maybe I'll be able to absorb their power. Like I did with the TC. This is well worth a try. When touching the corpse of a criminal, I had a reaction to it. But I can't absorb the power. Felt like something was blocking it. After listening, Zombie pondered. Maybe he only absorbed one source of power. Or Justin's power is too great. It is currently difficult to draw conclusions about this issue. Ju-won's strength is a mystery, and it takes time to learn. What you need to do now is focus. Celebrate the victory. Just now, at the hero headquarters, a big party was held. Can be easily recognized. The great influence of the #1 hero. What justice I brings. Contrasting with the cheerful scene of the NIVO party. Stay outside and whine with short triumph. They are really useless. They are very happy after winning. And you're not going to do anything. Kai's face was as cold as ice and he turned and left. I'm not like them, I don't like to have fun. NIVO saw this and immediately asked, what are you planning, right? Triung turned his head and smiled mysteriously. I do not know. Instead of calling it a plan. So it can be said that their smile will disappear on its own. The next day, the alarm in Jusk's luxury apartment awakened Ju-won. He now felt like he was about to arrive. Because I drank too much last night, yeah. My head feels like it's about to explode. The hero's ability to drink beer is admirable. Anyway, I have to stay at home just TC for a long time. Young-won after waking up. Only then will I have time to look at this place once more. As expected of being the #1 hero. This place is so upscale and luxurious. Ju-won had a dream. Also don't think that. One day I will live in a place like this. After walking around a bit. Ju-won nervously checked her phone. Amount 200 million. Has been transferred to your account. Ju-won happily laughed shamelessly. Finally, he received his dream amount. The elders say prohibition has the wrong power. The bigger, the more money. But then Ju-won immediately changed his attitude. After realizing the harsh truth. This will not end. Even when I received the money. Justice was assassinated. Just autopsy report. But Yumi gave it to me. It is noted that there are no signs of external trauma. But he wasn't poisoned either. Only thing. He was frantically using his powers. What exactly happened that day? Just when Ju-won was focusing on reviewing the report. Then there was the sound of the door opening. Ju-won thought it was Tommy, so he calmly said, she came at the right time. I'm looking at the autopsy you gave me. But as soon as Ju-won turned around, he saw that it was Haste. He panicked and immediately hid under the chair. No, that's why you came here. And why come here? As if it were normal. Haste now approached and spoke Justice. I just heard your voice here. What are you doing down there? Fortunately, Ju-won. Promptly transformed into Justice. Then start doing push-ups with one hand. I'm just practicing a little. Seeing that, Haste looked excited. Wow, workout the day after the after-party. It's true that just TC is different. Ju-won tried to stay calm and behave as naturally as possible. Maybe it's no surprise. But why did you come here without warning? Luckily, Ju-won promptly threw the reports under the chair. If Haste sees it, everything will fall apart. When asked, Haste answered seriously. He said there was an assassination attempt on him. This is also not the first time. You need to talk about this with everyone. Ju-won now understands. Haste's strange expression during the meeting. Before. So that was the reason she wasn't surprised at that time. How does it make sense if you already know so many things? It wouldn't be much of a surprise. Right now, Haste swooped into Ju Won's arms, blushing shyly. You're so mean for not telling me anything. Having hot milk pressed directly against your body, making Ju Won extremely surprised. He was confused and didn't understand what was going on. Haste now continued. He said he would call me John Gunn when it's just the two of us, right? As soon as Ju Won heard it, he sweated profusely, mouth open in surprise. Don't tell me. These two people are in a secret relationship. But I don't have that information in the file. Couldn't he be hiding from me? Seeing that the other person didn't speak up, he immediately pouted. Hey, are you not going to say anything? After hesitating for a moment, Ju Won said shyly. Sorry, John Gu. Probably because he's not used to being called by that name. Because I'm used to calling people at work. Haste suddenly stopped and continued to act cute. Oh, so I was very upset when I was called that. Ju Won saw that and thought he had escaped. He could finally breathe a sigh of relief. But Haste's face appears friendly. But the hand had already pulled the sword from the hilt. She did not hesitate and swung her sword to take Ju Won's life. Ji Won promptly reacted. The fatal blow should be narrowly avoided. Just a moment's delay. It's your head that's separated from your neck. Haste's eyes were now filled with murderous intent. His hand held the sword tightly as if he wanted to kill someone. I almost thought you were a real failure. The sword strike just now was so terrifying. The table behind Ju Won was hit, which still maintains its shape for several seconds. Just left the Haste then threw away the hilt of the sword in his hand. Then get into a fighting stance. Okay, before we ask any more questions, let me begin by amputating one or both of your arms. Haste is the deputy captain of the guards, led by Justiceye. Her ability is super speed. Haste used supersonic speed to rush forward. She slashed everything in her path. Ju Won must try very hard. Just avoided a few fatal blows. He looked at the scene before him in shock. She cuts everything like tofu. Even though I know she's fast. But that sword is really sharp. Haste still has no intention of stopping at this time. She looked at Ju Won with eyes full of murderous intent. Then rush forward to attack again. Ju Won has no other choice. He had to accumulate strength in his two arms. Then block this attack. Wait, I told you to stop. Hashtags blade slashed Ju Won's hand. Like cutting into a piece of steel. But it still leaves a wound. She did not blindly continue to attack but stepped back. Keep your distance. You are similar. Yodashi and don't know how to control that power yet. As expected of a professional hero. Just need to exchange a few moves. Being able to recognize the opponent's condition. Ju Won is extremely confused right now. Don't know how. She's right, but luckily I still have my hands. But I'm still injured. And more importantly, I can't control this state for long. If so, then I have to fight quickly and win quickly. Ju Won rushed forward. And attack with all your might. You know that. The person I'm confronting is not simple. Just a little mistake. That means you will go see naked chickens. But Ju Won's attack. Easily avoided by Haste again. I don't know. How did you conquer the distant sands? By force? But what use is that status to you? As she spoke, she avoided Ju Won's attack. Like you're playing. When Ju Won reveals a loophole, Haste will give him a slash. I advise you. You should stop using power half-heartedly. To block my attack. Because if I want I can cut you at any time. So listen, it won't hurt too much but... Of course Ju Won won't sit around waiting to die. He was always in a defensive position. Prepare for the next attack. If you were in my situation you would know. Haste was now possessed by killing intent. She had no intention of hearing any explanations. With lightning speed, Haste rushed straight towards Ju Won. Then used the sword to stab him through the chest. I thought the match would end here. But it turns out Ju Won had already calculated it. He took this opportunity, grabbed Haste's hand, then delivered a full-force blow to her face. But Jung Won immediately noticed. I was just being stupid. I'm not sure but it seems like I made her mad. Haste's blood was rushing at this moment. Brain widened his eyes and looked at Ju-won. How dare you do that? Even though I'm pretending to fall TC. Ju-won immediately has a bad feeling about this, and need to jump on her when the opportunity arises. But before he could react, then Haste has disappeared. In an instant Haste appeared behind Ju-won. I give you two options of losing one or two arms. Young-won. Before he could say a word, Haste disappeared again. This was followed by countless powerful attacks from all directions. This incredibly fast speed, making Ju-won unable to do anything. But you can only passively endure the attack. When you feel it, that's when the blade was about to slice off his arm. It's too late to react now. Could this be the moment when the red-haired Judasai was born? Right at this moment, black tentacles appeared. Blocks Haste's blade. Thetisai still hadn't recovered and was sweating profusely. Luckily, Yumi arrived in time. Otherwise, you would have joined the Disabled Association. You're still a lunatic when it comes to the TC. Haste though withdrew his hand, but still maintain a fierce attitude. I understand that you are also an accomplice. Please explain to me what's going on. Remember, your shadow cannot stop me. There is no other way. Chaomi just had to tell the truth that Justinsy was murdered. After calmly listening to the story's beginning and end, Haste couldn't control his emotions. The trembling voice asked again, You mean Justinsy is dead, and he's playing him as a replacement? Yuwonzer has also returned to his old form. The whole body is full of wounds. You sit still. Don't you dare say anything because you're afraid your head will fly off like crazy. Zombie now continued. We have no choice left. We can hide the truth. Over a period of time. As soon as he heard this, Haste shouted loudly in excitement. Do you know what you're doing? Even when he uses Jusk's power. Well, he's too careless. And how long do you think this play will last? He will be arrested when his identity is revealed. Haste was now extremely agitated and confused. Completely different from the usual image. Ju-won now spoke up. Who killed Sutishi? And why do we need so much time to investigate? Haste immediately interrupted. No, you can't. That person will find you soon. Obviously, she did not trust this stranger at all. But Zu-won confidently made a judgment. No, he won't come. Or rather, it's impossible. Because only we know about Justishi's death. After listening, Yumi and Haste had doubtful faces. What? How do you know that? Ju-won immediately explained. Yesterday I told everyone there was an assassination. But they didn't react to it. That means, no matter who the assassin is, they thought the assassination was a failure. These words seem reasonable. Haste also had no comments. She sighed, hugged her face helplessly, then turned to leave. Before leaving, she didn't forget to tell Yumi angrily. I don't know how long this lasts, but she had to clean up all his troubles. From this reaction, Ju-won thought he was already hated. But Yumi explained, don't mind her. She is the best assistant. Among the heroes of Justishi, this happening is too complicated for her. To be honest, the Guardians are a group of true heroes. The only one left. They stay because of Joticity. But if justice disappears, they will leave. If that happens, then they will abuse their power with the title of hero. At that point, they are no different from thugs, just a little stronger. Therefore, we need to do what is necessary. Let them become true heroes again. Let the people believe in heroes. Ju-won now also understand the reason. The keeping of Justishi's death a secret. Didn't expect the problem to be so big. Ju-won smiled and loudly declared, do not worry. It's not like you saw me fooling everyone yesterday, right? Let's move forward and see if I'm right. Zombies don't really care at this point, because she is having to rearrange her upcoming plans. And what a coincidence. Today, two people have important tasks to perform. That mission is to go to lunch. Ju-won just needs to sit down for lunch. Can also attract countless people around. Because of rumors Rutaisai was almost assassinated. Has spread widely. So Ju-won needs to appear more publicly, as justice to reassure public opinion. And an even more special reason is because today is Haste. Ju-won doesn't know what day it is. So Yumi pointed at the new recruits and explained. Every 3 months, there will be new heroes recruited. It was a big event in recruiting more forces. And it also decides which of the 4 groups will they join, just like how clubs recruit members. Among college freshmen, although more important, it is almost the same. After hastily slurping up the bowl of noodles, Yumi leads Ju-won to the event venue. It's a huge stadium with loads of space, number of seats around. Ju-won witnessed this scene for the first time. I was so surprised that I couldn't close my mouth. Seeing that, Yumi quickly reminded her to keep her mouth shut. We cannot show a drop. TC looks worried. Just the appearance of Jusk alone attracted countless looks from other heroes. This makes Ju-won a little worried. I didn't think it would be that big. Looks like there are more heroes. In the last meeting. Now tell me what to do. Ju-won still doesn't know that. What the hell am I supposed to do here? Yet Yumi told him not to do anything. Seeing Ju-won's stupid face, Zombie immediately continued. The best people don't need to do anything. Just sit in the center and look serious. This seems more boring. Compared to what Ju-won expected. He took a look around. Then detect the number of people in other groups. More than guardians. Zombie explains that, if compared in quantity, then the defenders will be weaker. At this moment Haste walked over and sat next to Ju-won. Ju-won saw this and hesitantly asked, "Do you really want to sit here?" Haste's face was as cold as ice and he replied to stop deluded himself. "Even though I'm sitting here, don't think I like you." Ju-won just wanted to punch her right now. Let out your anger. But because he couldn't fight back, he could only curse silently. In your heart, do you think I want it? Justice's death wasn't my fault. I don't know what the hell is wrong with her. At this moment, the program announcement started to sound. The first will be a battle between 2 rookies. One with pink hair and one with brown hair. Both are extremely confident in their own abilities and want to perform well in front of the captains. The match has just started. The brown-haired young man had covered his fist with dirt and rocks, then rushed to attack. The pink-haired young man gently avoided the attack, then counterattack with energy rays in the palm of your hand. The two then rushed to fight each other. Ju-won sat and watched and wondered, why do we suddenly punch each other? Yumi immediately answered, like I said, this is the association they are showing off to attract teams. Ju-won thought this was just a friendly match. But the next scene terrified him. Young man with pink hair. After defeating the opponent, he still refused to stop. He pins his opponent to the ground like a fly, continuously attack the injured arm. Ju-won saw that and immediately stood up to prevent. But he was stopped by Yumi. I said you don't need to do anything. Ju-won immediately asked again, what do you want me to sit and watch? Even though he's doing too much. Zombie remains steadfast. It's just an everyday war. And the strength of the different factions. And he didn't do anything wrong either. So he has no grounds to stop it. Even if you fail, it's impossible. The young man with pink hair at this time, enjoying brutally torturing opponents. Why don't you raise your hands and surrender? Otherwise your hand will be crushed. If you know what I will forgive you. Or is it because I'm pressing you so I can't raise my hands to surrender? Let's see how I'm gonna scrap your arm. At that moment, a hand reached out to stop him. There's no need to say who did it. Haste and zombies. I also gave up on this action of Ju-won. The reason for this is extremely simple. Ju-won always wanted to be a hero. Like in the image of younger sister. Always act righteously and prevent evil. You won. This unheroic act cannot be tolerated. So I took action to prevent it. Everyone almost believes in heroes. But you are here. Giggling and other heroic torment. Don't you feel weird? The other heroes saw this and talked excitedly. From then until now, Rodashi has never acted like that. The pink-haired young man still didn't know what fear was. What are you doing? Why interfere? Or because it is one of the guardians. Ju-won still maintained a calm attitude and explained. You don't need to be harsh with other heroes, right? I'm just telling you my limits. The pink-haired youth gave a contemptuous smile. Oh my God. What will you do if I don't follow through? He concentrated energy in the palm of his hand. Then head straight towards Ju-won. He is very confident in his abilities. I can rely on my ability to push and pull. Because you dare to hold the power gauntlet, you idiot. I will humiliate you and make fun of the enemy audience. This young man never watches the news. But dare to turn on the top one hero. Young-won just needs to gently hold his wrist. It was enough to cause him so much pain that he couldn't do anything. All you need to do is raise your right hand and surrender. Or you cannot do it. Young man with pink hair. Now become the one who suffers. He kept screaming but could not surrender. At that moment, something appeared to stop him. Should you get involved in a match like this? If you want to fight that badly, then fight with people of the same level as you. Just don't finish talking. Immediately released a huge source of energy. Dark red like blood. Young-won was hit by this attack. Had to take a few steps back. The other heroes saw this and became crazy. A battle between two top heroes. Will definitely be remembered in history books. Haste is extremely worried right now. But if you intervene, then things will only get more complicated. Zombie understood why Haste was so worried. No wonder Haste acted like that. Currently Lee Yu-won. Justice's power is almost impossible to control. He's only good at releasing his power. And it's even worse when the opponent is Triung. Young-won clearly understands his true strength. So we decided to postpone the meeting. We don't need to fight here. But Triung doesn't let it go that easily. You're wrong. What will happen to my self-esteem if I keep giving in? And you keep coming. I don't allow that to happen. There is no other way. Ju-won was forced to fight this battle with his whole body. He radiated a huge source of energy. Then rushed to attack first. Just like your fist. It was easily blocked again. The force is also strong. Looks like you really want to fight. But it seems you still don't know anything. The power of Ju-won right now. Being continuously sucked out of the body. Obviously that is the power of Triung. He had absorbed a large amount of power. Then gather in front of the fist. Then return it to Ju-won. Ju-won quickly used both hands to block the attack. But it's also a bit unbearable. His arm was a bit numb. And I don't know how many more hits I can take. Young-won has some doubts about the power of Trium. You should take the initiative to attack again. But no matter how hard you punch, then the Trium still stands still. Immobilized and takes no damage. Not only that, he even counterattacked. With a huge source of energy. Come here then. Ju-won also confirmed his suspicions. I was skeptical about this. But Tri-hong really wants to fight with me. By your own strength. Well, it's strict. That said, this is not the male lead's strength, right? After a series of attacks, he laughed and teased the attack. Why are you like this? So unlike yourself, it's so pathetic. He uses huge amounts of energy. But I can absorb it. Attack again. Young-won, you won now. Only know how to defend passively. If you attack, then energy will also be absorbed and become useless. Other heroes. Seeing Jotishi being overwhelmed, there was heated discussion. They were very surprised. When the number one hero can't do anything. In a solo battle like this, only zombies understand the situation best. It was natural for him to be overwhelmed. Because Triung is someone who possesses the power of absorption. He absorbs all kinds of attacks and uses them. No matter how hard he hits Triung, he will respond with a degree. That's strength. If this continues, it will be a loss of face. After attacking relentlessly, then Triung also stopped and provoked him. Why don't you continue to attack? He is truly the pride of the Guardians. The strongest hero. Just TC. These words provoked the heroes who were watching. No one thinks that. The number one hero is only defending. Ju-won is so damn panicked right now. They are all talking about me. I acted wrongly. Because I'm so excited about being a hero. I can easily make money. If you listen to Yuma's words. But if they can act like that, because they have power, then I can also stop them with this power. Young-won once again rushed forward to attack. This time, Triung also proactively rushed forward. Absorb strength to counterattack. Looks like you're making a plan. Don't try to use your power anymore, it won't work. But he didn't have time to finish his sentence. Then he was overwhelmed by Ju-won's great power. Standing in front of such a huge source of energy, it is difficult for Triung to absorb it all. Yu-won is now full of enthusiasm. I want to be a good hero like Justishi. No matter what, I will release a lot of power, to the point where he won't be able to absorb it. Triung is a bit overloaded right now. He is using all his strength to counter Ju-won's huge energy. The pressure of this battle is so terrible. Blows away everything around and spreads to the stands. Just observing the battle also becomes difficult. Zombie witnessed this scene and was extremely surprised. It's unbelievable. At first he had difficulty, but now Trium can barely keep up. If both of them don't stop, everyone will go to hell. For a friendly match, a Trium would be unbearable. In a decisive moment, suddenly there was an invisible pressure that made them both stop. Yuan's body became extremely heavy, and it's hard to move. That is the power of Acta. What are you guys doing? Want to destroy everything? Let's end everything, Acta. Afterward, at hand, an invisible pressure also disappeared. The battle also ended accordingly. However, no one was willing to give in. Ju-won now feels regretful because of his impulsive actions. At this moment, the young man was beaten and bruised before. After the bandage arrived. Thanks Justishi, because of me that happened. I was too embarrassed to show my face and thank him for his help. Not only that, but many other heroes, also praising Yuan's recent actions. They also thought it was the right move, which heroes must follow. Ju-won also felt somewhat happier. After this, it turns out that the heroic ideal he pursued was correct. The next day the zombie came to Ju-won's place and took the sign with him. Statistics on the number of heroes participating in each group. Although acting for Ju-won's justice, it is possible to prevent a tragedy from happening. But that was 7 defeats for the group of defenders. Number of new people joining this year of the group. Even more pathetic than last year. After Young-won finished watching it, he was a little confused. Because of such large disparities between groups. Haste immediately cleared his mind for him to understand. Our heroes don't just lose. But the current criminal force is very small. So not many people want to participate. Group of guardians. If this continues, we will be taken over by Uberman Place. Outweigh. After hearing this, Ju-won still doesn't quite understand. It seems like a big problem, right? Zombie just had to keep calm. Have you forgotten what kind of Uberman team is? Just need talent. They will even support criminals. It's pure meritocracy. He thought. What if a group has full authority in a? Triung Yogo thought for a moment, then asked again. Then why not form an alliance? Zombie continued. Even if we do it, who do we do it to? Alcondo is too extreme. Union only thinks about benefits and doesn't need to talk about Uberman. Union might have some potential. But it won't be that simple. Unless we have someone inside. Hearing this, Ju-won immediately spoke up. If so, then it's very easy. He took out his phone and dialed repeatedly. It can be a bit confusing to do 2 people at the same time. Like being a spy. I will do the job for 2 billion. This young man is blinded by money. That night, the zombie led Yu-won to the roof of a building. And observe a pool party. When Yu-won wondered why he came here. Then zombie explained William. He ranked 3rd in the Union. Heroes are ranked in order of popularity. Although they are rarely as active as other heroes. They hold parties every day. So they have quite a network. Voting is expected to take place in the union today, so Winham will definitely participate. After hearing this, Ju-won smiled confidently. I just need to manipulate the voting right. Chomi was a little suspicious, so she asked him if he was really okay. What's the plan? Ju-won now looked towards a girl. Then confidently affirm. Well, I'm not saying that to brag. But everyone has their own secret. A moment later Wyam arrived at the party with an escort. It looked like he had drunk quite a bit and was lightheaded. He rocks the party. And start having fun. Tonight the escort saw this and reminded him. But it seems like he doesn't care at all. At this moment a girl came and unfortunately did it. Poured wine on Winham. Winham was about to curse. Then they discovered it was a red-haired beauty. You should change your attitude immediately. It's okay, sister. Things like this happen often. Parties. That red-haired girl at. This caressed Winham's chest muscles and whispered. No, I want to erase it for you. Somewhere a little quieter. With a guy who thinks with his head down like Winham. Then I will definitely not refuse this request. He told his escort to keep watch here. Then go enjoy it with the beauty. After entering the room, Wyam was preparing to act when he was knocked unconscious on the spot. Turns out that this girl was transformed into by Ju-won. After successfully breaking in, Ju-won sets out to find a conference tablet. After a while of searching, he found it here. Eye and fingerprint recognition. Look at him like that. But pay attention to tablet security. Thank God it doesn't have a password. With his power, Ju-won easily unlocked the tablet and participate in the conference. The chair of the conference is Acta. When I saw Winham come into the meeting, I was a bit surprised. Winham, why did you come in so early today? Wait, should I thank you for participating? Because to avoid being exposed. Should. Ju-won just texted that he was at a party. Acta saw that and did not suspect anything. Anyway, you know we're quitting. The vote is for something this time, right? At the upcoming meeting, we need to decide. Should we work with a group of guardians or not? Based on votes. We will decide based on the union's opinion. Let's decide by the number of votes. According to the popularity rankings, the winner ranked third and had 985 votes. See this ranking, making Ju-won also admire. It's crazy. Voting is based on star popularity. This is not a game show. Union has a strange way of doing things. But thanks to Winham's votes. But Ji-won has a chance to change the voting results.